I am disgusted.
Now, Left 4 Dead 2 doesn't really have that much variety in the weapon section. There's a lot of weapons in the game, I will not lie. There's about 20 to 30 weapons, which is a lot of weapons to choose from. Now, you're like, oh, which one's the best? The best because you're a sweaty nerd, or you just want to know like the general idea of weapons, of certain weapons, and what they do better than others, and why they would be better than a worse or dog shit weapons. Well, the only video you really see is, well, the two videos in the beginning. And out of those two videos, the best tier list I could probably say will have to be this tier list right here. It is wrong halfway, but it's correct halfway. And out of the reason why I say this is the best one is mainly because it is the most properly built tier list, but also because it accommodates 4 verses. Semi, at least. The main issue I have with Black Ninja's tier list compared to Goom is Goom's tier list is much more spread out and is much more variety inside of this tier list. Also, Black Ninja is a survival player, so 9 times out of 10, I won't say 9 times out of 10, but I would say a big lean towards his opinions will be because how good they are in survival. So I wanted to make a tier list on how good a weapon is in strictly versus, because Goom got the campaign, Black Ninja has the survival mode. I want to make the versus. Goom tries doing a little bit of both, a little bit of all 3, but I'm going to make the strictly versus tier list, and I will be talking about how they do in campaign and stuff, how they do in campaign. Don't have that much experience in survival, but I will say my opinion on survival. One huge thing I do want to comment on Goom's tier list is the first 2 tiers, because I would say D and E tier and a little bit of B tier were the most frustrating tiers to ever hear in my life, and I'll give you a reason why. He lists E tier, all these weapons bad because explosive rounds are quote-unquote not worth it. If you don't know, weapon upgrades give you extra ammo, so explosive bullets aren't in versus for a good reason, because I'd be pissed off if a group of survivors had 50 bullets times 4, so 200 bullets of explosive ammunition. So basically making 2 pushes on any team basically would not work, because shoot the floor, boom, they're gone. Let's just accommodate for the fire upgrades. For example, the AK and the M60. And also, we're just not going to talk about how you put the grenade launcher up. The grenade launcher higher than explosive sniper rifle, M6, like explosive bullets, M60. I'm going to ignore that fact, okay? The fact that you put fire upgrades this low for a lot of the weapons goes to show that you can't trust the internet. End of discussion. Now, if we're talking about single pistols, I would literally put them in D tier, almost F tier. But if we're talking about dual pistols when you're knocked down are kind of trash. It's just regular pistols, you have more ammo. But if you're using them for regular use, I'll put dual pistols are pretty like C tier. I'll say nothing much to really talk about them. The Magnum is an easy A tier weapon. If you fight any competent person with a deagle, it is crazy. Let's look into the campaign part of the side, okay? Now, if you look in the background, you guys will notice I'll be putting gameplay of each weapon, and they're gonna be on the same map down center. The gun store, mainly because every single gun's there basically. No, every gun is there, so it would make recording and showing you guys how these weapons work a lot easier. In campaign, one shots all the time. Now I understand this is the versus tier list. Okay, let's talk about the versus aspect. Headshotting a witch staggers. You could crown a witch with a deagle. That kind of sounds kind of crazy. You know what that would mean? If you are able to go to the witch, you can't alert her or anything. She doesn't have to know you're there. She has to be sitting down too. If she is sitting down, let's say the beginning of No Mercy, for example. If you shoot that witch in the head and you go with her and shove her, and just keep shooting her, you guys can light her up. You don't even have to shove her actually. Just shoot her in the head, and as she's stumbling, your whole team just lights her up. That team, the versus the infected team cannot use that witch, which is why I think the Magnum is really good. And another reason, okay, that's a little bit too niche of a requirement. The Magnum is very accurate when down, and it one-shots every infected, no matter the difficulty, even on expert realism. it one-shots them. So if you see a deagle, there's no reason for you not to grab it. It is an accurate weapon when you're down. So if someone's trying to revive you and then Hunter goes on them, headshot, boom, they're dead. If Jockey gets them, you could accurately shoot them. Now, would you be able to save them? Not all the time, but you are definitely gonna have a way more easier of a time trying to save someone with deagle than you are with regular pistols. Now moving on with their tier 1 weapons, a pump shotgun. I'm gonna say the hot take of that pump is better than chrome shotgun for one reason and one reason only. Crowning riches. The pump shotgun, if you hit every single pellet, it is going to be the only weapon that could one-shot a witch on expert. Like, you could crown a witch on expert realism. You cannot do that with the chrome shotgun. At least I don't think so. Don't quote me on this. But I wouldn't be surprised. If I had to choose one of the other shotgun, the crown on expert realism, I would choose the pump shotgun. Okay, well, I can't find my source, but supposedly the tier 1 weapons is the only shotgun that could crown on expert. Now versus mode, if you're using a shotgun, you're throwing. But it again can crown. It is a pretty solid weapon outside of its range. So because of its range, the lack of range, and since it's the tier 1 weapon, I will be putting it in C tier. Now, its better brother is going to go into, well, C tier, but ahead of it. Actually, let's do this. I feel like this is a lot more better, a lot more accurate. Next up, we have the Science SMG. And no, before we talk about Science SMG, let's talk about the regular Uzi. The regular Uzi has one of the fastest fire rate in the game, and it has one of the fastest reload times compared to all the other SMGs. And it is pretty damn accurate, at least when you crouch, shoot, spray, whatever. You can laser with this weapon. And because of that, I'm going to have to say this weapon is a pretty gnarly weapon. I would even say it is better than the chrome shotgun just because of its range alone. Now, if you want to see a better weapon, we have the Silence FG. If by just trading in some reload speed and a little bit of accuracy, I believe, you get a weapon that doesn't alert a conflicted and does more damage. By just adding a silencer to do more damage, I don't know, but it's more damage, silent, and you can silently assassinate common infected. Are you gonna be able to do that in versus? I do not know. But at the end of the day, it's pretty gnarly. Now, I usually grab the regular Uzi instead of the Silence SMG because of the fact that it has more accuracy, and I like to play the game where I can just, no matter what situation I'm in, because if a horde comes, you're going to be able to spray with the Uzi because it shoots so fast. And same thing with the Silence SMG, but if something happens behind you, you gotta like, you're going to be less accurate with the Silence SMG. For my personal tier list, I would put the Uzi a little higher, but for a general tier list, the Silence SMG is going to always outperform the Uzi in versus. Trust me. And for our last tier 1 weapon, we have the MP5. Yeah, I just realized halfway through recording, I forgot to record the weapons for the CSGO weapons. So the AWP, the Scout, and the MP5 are sadly not gonna have the gameplay with it, like for the weapon. And respectfully, I probably forgot for the better because those weapons are shit. Damn, where the fuck am I gonna put the MP5? Now, Goon put the MP5 really high, and I need to know what he was smoking because this weapon shoots slower, reloads slower, and has the same ammo, I believe, as the other SMGs. So what is the benefit? It has less accuracy. Honestly, it's just the worst. It's just the worst SMG. My characters, I'm pretty sure my character's gonna be taking forever to reload, making the hordes kind of difficult. But the hordes are obviously going to be difficult with chrome shotgun and pump shotgun, but a spray and pray weapon should not have such a difficult time. If the same difficulty as dual pistols, in my opinion. Now, is the MP5 a really good weapon? It is. Put laser sights, like Goom said, put laser sights on this weapon is crazy. but you are barely gonna find laser sights in versus. Let alone are you gonna barely find this weapon, and barely are you ever gonna find a weapon better than this. I mean, worse than. You're never gonna have a weapon worse than this weapon unless you have the regular pump, or you have no weapon at all. But 9 times out of 10, you're never gonna grab the MP5 because the MP5 is the shit version of everything else. Better than pump though. One last, I think we have actually one more tier 1 weapon. I believe the hunting rifle is a tier 1 weapon. I believe the scout and op are tier 1 weapon. But we're just gonna skip those because I don't feel like talking about these. And respectfully, I'd rather talk about the snipers together because they basically had the same shit going on with them, other than 2. But other than 3 actually, but we'll get into those later. The combat shotgun and the tactical shotgun. It really depends. Now, if we're talking about versus, no, let's start with the combat shotgun. Okay, the combat shotgun does 1 less damage if you hit all your pellets than the tactical shotgun. The combat shotgun, the other difference is that the first bullet reloads faster than the tactical shotgun. Meaning that if you're doing a running gun, the combat shotgun is definitely gonna be one of your favorite, and it's gonna be a lot more consistent too when trying to dish out DPS, because the combat shotgun for this click, shoot, click, shoot, click, shoot, while the tactical is gonna be click, shoot, click, shoot, click, shoot. It's gonna be a little bit slower because of that first bullet reload speed being slightly slower, and you're gonna notice that when you're trying to run a gun. Now, that tactical shotgun does overall more damage. Now, if you hit all your pellets, it's only gonna be doing 1 extra damage, but 1 extra damage times 10 is 10 extra damage. Pick your poison, slightly slower reload speed, really can make you, it can really make you struggle in certain situations. And yet again, it is a shotgun, so you have limited range, so having to reload more or slowly and trade for a little extra damage, to each their own. But I think this weapon isn't that good. I love the design of it, it looks very nice, but it isn't that good compared to the combat shotgun, which if you're a confident team versus campaign, shit, even survival, you are going to want to have the combat shotgun over the tactical, just because that first bullet reloads faster, so you have to worry less about having to click your reload. It's like CSGO. You reload and you get fucked. So you want to try reducing how hard you get fucked with your reload speed. Next up, we have the snipers. And the snipers are going to be generally the same thing. This is with the scout and F tier. Don't ever grab this weapon. And I would put op down here too. But at least the op has one benefit. The op actually has the possibility to one-shot jockeys, just like the grenade launcher. And that's in the body, not talking about headshots, in the body. If you despise jockeys that much, I guess go ahead. I mean, they're both shit weapons, but this one shoots, I believe, 0.15 milliseconds slower. But I'd much rather take that and get the ability to one-shot jockeys. Next up, we have the hunting rifle, and for a tier 1 weapon, this is a pretty good ass tier 1 weapon. Its running and gunning potential is better than a military sniper rifle. I will say that. The hunting rifle does indeed have more accuracy while hip firing than the military rifle, sniper rifle. It is a really common spawn, and shit, I'd even put it here. I think the Magnum isn't the best weapon out of A tier. This is ordered, by the way. I don't think hunting rifle has the best. The Magnum is the best out of all of these, but it is a pretty dang good weapon. But like I was saying, the hunting rifle, the sniper rifle, it one-shot headshots, zoom in, 100% accuracy. Running and gunning is a lot more accurate than the military sniper rifle, but the reason why the military sniper rifle is better, and we're trying to tell you about that right now. The military sniper rifle, the reason why the weapon is so god tier, and why I will put it in S tier, is because it has 30 bullets, one-shots commons, one-shot headshots, special effected, 30 bullets, I don't know if I said that already, but 30 bullets, and if you're wondering why this weapon shreds through hordes, it is because It has piercing. I don't know if it's infinite piercing or whatever, but shit, it feels like it. That's basically the reason. And in survival, you always get to weapon in survival. So it's either this or a shotgun. Usually when you see people play survival mode, campaign, like I said, infinite piercing, so you trash on hordes. And versus, especially versus, same thing with the hunting rifle. You can shit on every single special infected if you have the aim and you know where to shoot in the head. You will literally dog every single special infected. No problem. And lastly, since we're done with the sniper rifle, I just wanted to add, every sniper rifle can stagger the witch, which just gives it another reason why they're so good. Even the Omp and Scout, they can stagger the witch. First off, let's start with the M16. The M16 is going to be your SMG equivalent of an assault rifle. The reason why I say that is because it has a high fire rate. The only weapon I can really compare this to, as in SMG, will be the SG552, but I'll talk about that weapon a little bit later. And just because it's so comparable to the M16 a little bit, so that weapon we'll talk about later. The M16 though, it's going to be your tier 2 equivalent of an SMG because it's 50 bullets, shoots very fast, and has one of, if not the most, fastest reload speed out of all the tier 2s. Combined with this crazy accuracy, put a laser sight in the weapon, it's over. Like you could run and laser people. Stand still, even show the gameplay real quick. This is you run. This is the accuracy of running and shooting. This is the accuracy of standing and shooting. This is the accuracy of crouching and shooting. You have a laser in your hands when you have this shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Because of that, it is an A tier. And it's actually a pretty good running gun weapon. And it's always in survival. Having the 2-shot uncommon infected with a crazy fast fire rate. And it shreds tanks kind of well, because it does like around 30 damage. Overall, a really good tier 1 weapon. You can never go wrong with the M16. Okay, for our next weapon, just had to organize this a little bit. We're going to talk about the Scar. People hype up the Scar because it has 60 bullets and a 3-round burst. But respectfully, I think it's actually the worst tier 2 weapon. And honestly, I might have to put it down here. Because the main issue with the Scar is just you have 60 bullets. And you just shit on everything, I will agree. But never in my life am I going to grab a Scar over the M16, military sniper rifle, combat. I'm never grabbing any of this. Shit, I even contemplate keeping an Uzi and a silenced SMG. Shit, I would even contemplate keeping an MP5. No, I wouldn't actually. Because they both suffer from the same issues. And here's what the issue is. The Scar takes a light year to reload. M16 is just overall really good. You cannot go and have no problems with it. It's very accurate. So in versus, you could just laser shit. But you know what the M16 has also? A very fast reload speed. The Scar has a very slow reload speed. Yes, you have 60 bullets and you can shit on hordes. But the bloom that this weapon has when you get hit is horrendous. And the reload speed on this weapon is horrendous. If you have 3 bullets left and your teammate gets smokered or jockeyed, it's over for that team. It's over for that teammate because you're reloading. If they get 100, it's definitely over. If they get 100 and you're farther than 10 meters, they're gone. They're not surviving because you reloading will take so long that you could walk over there and shove the hunter. And if you're getting attacked by zombies, you're never gonna knock hunter off. I'm sorry. The Scar is literally an overrated weapon. It is a really good weapon, but without laser sights, this shit struggles. It struggles with crescendo events and stuff. The M16 could dish out 100 bullets by the time that the Scar dishes out 60 and starts reloading. Well, next up, we're gonna talk about the AK. Okay, we're just gonna do this. We're gonna do it real quick. The AK-47, in my opinion, is worse than the military sniper rifle. But they're basically the same shit. Like, AK could one-shot, headshot, special infected, less accurately than the military sniper rifle. It can stagger witches, just like the military sniper rifle. It has 10 extra bullets, so that's over the military sniper rifle. And it can one-shot at common effect, just like the military sniper rifle. But the AK, well, I'm pretty sure, doesn't have the ability to penetrate. Even though it has more bullets, the military sniper rifle can technically shoot 10 bullets and just shit on the horde compared to the AK. So in my opinion, the military sniper rifle is broken. But in versus, if you have 0 skill, this is the move. AK is the best weapon. Put laser sights and the AK on a weapon. The bloom, the negative of the bloom, goes away, and you could just one-shot, headshot everything. Just one-shot everything. If you have a laser sight on that shit. But if you don't, which is 9 times out of 10, if you get an AK and a laser sight in a versus match, you better not lose that fucking match, because you would if you do your shit. But if you don't, military sniper rifle. S tier I'm not gonna order. It's really specific. But if we're going with laser sights, AK is better. If we're going without laser sights, military sniper better. If we're talking about, and the military sniper rifle is pretty common. So the AK is still one of the best weapons of the game, if not the best weapon in the game. It's really just personal preference. If you have good aim, grab the military. If you don't, grab the AK. If there's laser sights, grab the AK. Like, as you can see, like in the gameplay, I'm shitting on zombies. I have nothing to say. Oh yeah, and lastly, if you play versus and you play Dead Center, everybody grabs AK laser sights. Besides like the sweaty nerd who likes military sniper rifle. But just because everybody grabs AK laser sights just goes to show how crazy it is. Now last but not least, we have the SG552. I don't have much experience with this weapon, so I'm gonna let future me put his take on this weapon, but I'm still gonna rank it real quick. Okay, it is a weapon with a very fast fire rate, lots of ammo, and you could zoom in for accurate shots. I don't know if it one-shot headshots, but that alone, I will give it the benefit of the doubt that it is a slightly better version of the M16, just because of more ammo, and this is the tier 2 equivalent of SMGs. Okay, this is the real tier 2 SMG. Plus, it has 50 bullets just like the M16. Honestly, I could literally interchange these, and it wouldn't be a problem. But I don't have much experience with the SG552. But I hear so much people praise this weapon, and in versus, you never get this weapon in versus. That's the main issue that I have with it. But other than that, it is such a good weapon. It is a great running gun weapon. If you get laser sights too, it is crazy. Shreds through zombies. I don't have much experience, but future me, if you have anything to say it, and say your true ranking. I just wanted to say one last thing, because like I said, I didn't have really experience with the weapon. I will say this weapon, looking back at the video, like the gameplay, has crazy accuracy. I don't know if it's because I'm just standing still. Yeah, I would say this weapon's running gun accuracy, like just like spraying and running, is low key good as hell, and it's kind of surprising. Do I think I'd say on the final tier list, I will say I don't move it. But if I had an A+, I'd definitely put it up there. It's just basically a better M16, which I think it's like less damage or whatever. I'm not really sure, but I know this is a better M16. That's all I gotta say. But for right now, I'm gonna put this at the head of A tier for now, just because of its ability to be accurate, which accuracy in versus is key and keen, because the faster you can kill your zombies or special infected, the better. Now, last but not least, well, actually not last but not least, we have the tier 2 weapons, the M60. Campaign, survival, versus. Survival, trash. I'm joking. Survival is like B tier. Campaign, God tier. Before the glitch, it was God tier, when you could refill your ammo. Now you can't do that anymore, sadly. And in versus, it is still a crazy weapon. Imagine the AK-47, but with 150 bullets of non-stop shooting. That's basically what you have. You shit on everything. if there's a tank and you have an M60, don't, if that tank gets lit on fire in versus, it's over, because then that tank has to push and it's not surviving for longer than 10 seconds against the M60. M60 is one of the worst weapons in S tier, but when you get it, you just have to grab it and you just shit on everything, and you are basically invulnerable until, you know, you lose all your ammo. But that's for another day. The grenade launcher. I hate this weapon. I hate the fact that that is my most used weapon. I don't know why it is. I hate that this weapon sucks. It's a friendly fire machine. I haven't seen a good use outside of, yeah, I have no clue. This weapon, other than one-shotting a jockey, which I could do, and I will literally say that I was better than this. If you play an expert, don't grab this weapon ever. Versus, don't grab this weapon ever. Having to reload every shot, trash. If it had the ability to one-shot everything, no matter what, and did more than, you know, 400 damage, then I'll say it would be a good weapon. But never grab this weapon. This weapon's trash. Don't ever do it. Don't ever. Maybe if you have a deagle, grab it. But it's just a troll weapon. It's just a troll weapon. That's it. That's it. Or it is, fam. It's trash. There is some changes. There's some changes. If you want to see what the original tier list looked like before I realized that I was on crack in the middle of making this video, here it is. Pause it if you want. Now, the main significant difference in that tier list, if you left longer than 10 seconds, is that the machete and the nightstick are I'll talk about the melee weapons in a second, okay? But the main big difference that you can see is that I raised the op from D to C above the dual pistols. Now, the main issue with the op is that it shoots really slow and it's shit and trash. But if you shoot shove, then you can shoot quicker than the scout. I mean, you can do it to scout too, but you can shoot faster than the scout. And also, I didn't confirm the theory if it could one-shot jockeys. If felt like it does. I did one-shot jockey when I was playing earlier today, and I was like, I was playing with the op all day today, so I was like, this weapon's not that bad. I mean, the campaign is not that bad. Versus, it's not that bad. It hits really hard, so that's what I was going for it. But it's really not that good of a weapon. But it is better than dual pistols, and if the jockey one-shot thingy is true, then that just makes it all the more better than the dual pistols and shit. And I think that's like the only difference, the only change I actually made. The SG552 I would put in the S tier, but I don't think it's that good of a weapon. Like I said, it's just a slightly better M16. So I think it's just to stay right in front of the M16, which is like the best weapon in A tier. And for the scar, I feel like I shouldn't be doing it dirty like this. It isn't that bad of a weapon, but that reload time in versus, it means everything. Like I said, if someone gets hunted and you have to reload, and you're not in showable distance, they're done. They're packed up. And if there's one zombie on you slapping you, you're not getting that kill off the hunter. Now, the melee weapons. Let me explain the melee weapons real quick, because when I was recording, I cannot explain it for shit. The machete and nightstick are in S tier. The nightstick, I was kind of contemplating, I don't know, but the machete and nightstick are the two weapons that have very fast swings. So, like swing rates, and they both go from right, left, right. If you are in a horde, you are shitting on that horde. You are not taking that much damage. You are shitting on them, especially with the machete. The machete is a sharp weapon, and I'm pretty sure it's a little bit slower slicing than swinging than the nightstick. Not by much, not noticeable. But sharp weapons do cut tongues, and being able to cut a tongue gives you bonus points. So it's S tier. The katana is A tier, and same reason for the machete, cuts tongue. The only reason why it's a little lower and not an S tier is because it isn't the fastest swinging weapon in the game. So I decided to keep it a little bit lower. The chainsaw is A tier, not S tier, because I am a hater, and this weapon can only throw out one hitbox at a time. So that's typically the reasons why you get stuck on zombies a lot, because you can't really kill them. Now, should it be S tier? Yes, but am I going to move it to S tier? No, because if you play Dark Carnival and you are on the second, the level before the event, I believe, when you turn that corner and all those zombies come out from the safe house, you are not going to get past them. You know what is going to get past them though? A katana, a fire axe, a crowbar. Basically every melee is going to get past them. But other than that, the chainsaw kills it. Okay. I also had the baseball bat and the cricket bat in C tier because of the way how it goes from right, left, and then it starts making an X pattern. I realized the X pattern wasn't that big of a deal, but just because I'm a hater, I guess I should keep them in C tier. But no, I'm gonna move them in B tier. And the shovel is low-key slept on. It has actually a pretty fast swing rate. I think the swing rate for the shovel is fast. Not sure, but it is a blunt weapon, so we don't really care for that. The axe I should make A tier, but I was like, swing's a little slow. And MP5, I hate that weapon. That's gonna stay where it is. Well, I hope you guys have a good day. Hope you enjoyed the tier list. It's the most factual versus tier list there is out there. If you disagree, make a better one. I dare you. You can't do it. But until next time, peace.